Hey everybody, it's Chris Angel coming at you. Another episode of Connect Share Prosper. Chaz, here we go.
Let's do it.
We're talking about the top 5 reasons that you should start a Master Networks chapter, specifically Master Networks chapter. So let's dive in.
Yeah, I bet these 5 reasons, by the way, are going to be something that most people are not thinking of. Like, there's always obvious things. When you listen, I love reading these Forbes and entrepreneurial lists of top 5 things you need to do financial, and it's like save money. It's like, duh. Well, what are the top 5 reasons to start? So the first one I want to talk about is insulation.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I understand to be true, and I've seen it in my own life. I've seen it in hundreds, if not thousands of others. And think back to like 2007 to 2010-ish, right? We keep hitting this idea of that there was this recession, this market recession. And I think how soon we forget that could happen again, and probably will.
Yeah.
The market's correct and so forth. And in fact, whether it's the market or not, you might have your own personal recession, whether it be death, divorce,
good point.
a business fails, right? It could be local market depressions and so forth. So a network insulates you to some extent from those things.
Yeah.
Because when those recessions happen, those that have the largest networks win. Right. You're going to reach out to people. You're going to ask for help. You're going to, here's what I do. Here's what I need. You're going to support each other.
Yeah.
When a market recession happens, the last thing to do is run away from your network. You need to dig in to the network and grow it larger, because that's how you'll win. So insulation for me is the top reason why you want to have a network.
I also think on the installation thing, it's sometimes it can be recessions and markets that soften, but sometimes it can be competition. Like if there's a particular industry where more people are actually getting into that industry, well, you've insulated yourself against competition as well. So, I mean, it kind of works both ways.
So powerful. That's right.
Yeah.
Against competition, it helps you dominate, right?
You're
the one everyone is thinking about. It's like when a new person comes into the marketplace and they're like, oh yeah, who do you use for this service? Well, we use Chris because everybody does, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, on that, you should just know, like, for you to really insulate yourself, like, that is about relationship, and relationship takes time. So it's not like you just jump into a chapter and then like next month, like, you've insulated yourself. Like, there's something about when you put time in the game, the payoff continues to increase.
Yeah. So let's maybe jump to one of the other reasons is relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
nice
the
segue.
reason. What's the great segue?
Nice segue.
Pro at this. So relationships, I mean, that's another reason. And I think that often, right, a lot of people build in isolation. They're working from home, or because everything's so mobile now, we actually are less connected sometimes to people, right? And I mean, think about it this way. When someone calls your phone, like, how many people get annoyed? Oh, somebody's calling me. Right?
Oh, I get annoyed. I get annoyed.
Yeah. The first instinct is I get annoyed, right? So think about that. We've gotten to that point. It's like being in a networking group helps me foster relationships, keep those skills of connecting and all that kind of stuff. And I just get these deep opportunities to build relationships with people that are valuable. Yeah. And, that to me is just so powerful, as being in a networking group for relationships.
I think one of the things for me, one of the reasons why I started my Master Networks chapter was because I've been in business for 18 years. And I think I am notorious for being a lone ranger. Like, I will go isolate. And when I interact with people, it's usually because I have something to teach, something to sell, something I want to go out to the world and make an impression of. But it's very lonely trying to, deal with the internal battle in my head. So having others as a support group, as a sounding board.
Yeah, it's almost like a board of advisors that's built in that, if you have a great culture of a networking group like we do at Master Networks, I can go share things. I can ask for advice. I can, I could share a marketing message with them. I could, I can't tell you the number of times people have come up and said, man, I just wasn't in good headspace today, if you will, or mindset. And it's all turned around, right? I think getting around people does that for us, changes our environment.
Yeah. I definitely think it's easy to be a lone ranger. And I think having that moral support, or the camaraderie, if you will, this is what I want to say, to be seen, to be known, to be seen and understood is a gift. And when you're in a room of other entrepreneurs, what happens is you get seen and known, like, for the strengths and the weaknesses. You don't feel alone anymore. You feel understood. And sometimes that's enough to go another week and push forward.
So good, man. Like, I was just thinking as you were saying that, what I love about this podcast, and hopefully those that are listening will go subscribe and leave, comments so it gets shared more and people can find it. But what I love about it is you're not interviewing me, you're co-hosting, which that was powerful. Like, I was just thinking about what you said is so powerful. Good stuff, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think it's, we're out here bearing our soul. When we had this idea for a business. We got into business for ourselves. We put a ton at stake. We risked a lot to be in it. And it's very like sometimes our spouses don't get us. They're like, I don't know why you're taking this much risk. Sometimes our friends, we don't see our friends very often because we're too busy trying to build the vision that was in our head. And at some point we just start to, for me, I'm speaking for myself. I start to go like, dude, am I crazy? What did I do? What have I done?
So yes, you are crazy. We're all
yes.
Anybody that's going to take an entrepreneurial journey
yeah.
is crazy to some extent.
Yeah.
And yes, our spouses don't get us almost all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't, that's just life. Like we're all doing
right.
different things. But yes, that's the power of building the relationships, is just coming together with common interest and moving together as a force just gives me so much energy.
Yeah. Yes. I love it. Energy is so good. So we've got it insulates you. One of the reasons is to start a Master Networks group or chapter is that it insulates you. You get relationships. What's the third one?
So revenue and ROI. I mean, I think that's where most people think that's the reason. And listen, there's no doubt that revenue is important and you need to bring in income and all of that stuff. The hard part about a networking group is it's unlike, say, running a Facebook ad where I'm tracking my clicks and my revenue and my ad spend and my cost of acquisition. This is a long play. Yep. And if you go into it not looking, if you just go transactional, not relational, you're looking for the short transactions, man, people are just smart. They sniff that out so fast. Yeah. And I think that's a mistake. It's like, Gary Vaynerchuk says something like, what's the ROI on your mom?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Like, how do you put ROI on those relationships? And if you are, like, we track ROI. Don't get me wrong. We track it because we want people to understand the business principle of the return they're getting out of the chapter.
Right.
But I almost think sometimes that's been a mistake because people go, well, look, I only made $400 so far this year out of this group. It's like, yeah, but tomorrow that could be 40,000 because of one relationship in that group.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, so when we talk about one of the reasons being revenue, I think the nuance to that, or what's in the background of that, is that you want to think of it as, it's through relationship, it's through face-to-face, it's through getting to know your people. And that's the long play to revenue. So
for sure.
Yeah, that's insulate yourself.
I heard an interesting thing this morning. Maybe I'll apply it to this because I thought it was really cool. Like, so many businesses track cost of acquisition. I just mentioned that. Yeah. But it's like, if you look at every member of your chapter as, let's say, an affiliate to your business, we'll just use that word, right? They're like a marketer, an affiliate to your business, and they could go bring business to you. And you think, what would that average person be worth to me? Maybe it's the $400, right? One person brought a $400 deal to me. Then the guy said, well, what's the cost of acquisition for an affiliate? Like, everyone's looking at the cost of acquisition for a customer. Right. What would the cost of acquisition to an affiliate be? And how long-term is that, right? It's not one transaction, it could be multiple. Right. Like, really opened my mind, and I'm going to explore this thought more, but it's a powerful thought. Yeah.
Well, right. I mean, if you're in a networking group that have these people and here's the part, you do the work for face-to-faces and build the relationship, the cost for the affiliate, there's really no cost besides time.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Especially in Master Networks, when we reward you for bringing people in anyway, and your dues get covered. And
Right. That actually reminds me of, I always love that metaphor of the golden goose, right? Like, when you have a golden goose who lays golden eggs, like, you never, don't ever kill the golden goose so when you develop those relationships face to faces, there's ROI in the golden eggs that come from all of these connections you've made. So there is revenue, but I think this is the nuance. You can't it's not just like you show up and then revenue happens. It's revenue as a result of relationship.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay. What's the fourth one?
So we talked about insulation, revenue, ROI. We talked about relationships. The fourth one to me is that you become a connector. You're more valuable because you're a connector, right?
Yeah.
You've raised your value to the marketplace. Mm-hmm. Again, we talked about in previous episodes, if I'm a real estate agent, a chiropractor in the trades, financial services, any of those, I become super valuable when I can now connect my clients to other valuable industry leaders. Yeah. That's huge, huge valuable. Yeah. That is again hard to measure ROI because you're just getting retention and value to your customers. It's to me, it's one of the top reasons.
How big, I don't know if you know this number, how big is Angie's List or Yelp? Like, in terms of like their market capital, they're ginormous.
Yes.
And all they've done is become a listing directory for people who have been recommended or referred, or there's some transparency because you can see the ratings and the reviews and whatever. Why not be your own Angie's List or Yelp in your local market? Why not?
Yeah, not only why not, you should. You have to. I mean, yeah, exactly. I can't even tell you the number of people. You probably get the same because you're in a chapter. Like the number of people that email me and say, hey, do you know somebody that does this? Or they message me on Facebook or text me. I've got people in other states who message me and say, hey, I had one the other day. I'm in Illinois. Do you know anyone here that does health insurance? Well, actually I do. And so I was able to connect them. It's like, like, you know everybody. Well, wow. No, but I can look it up. I can make a quick phone call to this person, make sure they're legit because they're a member of Master Networks, and I connected them. And now how valuable am I?
Listen, I'm sorry, I just got re-energized by something here in terms of some vision for my own chapter. But like, you know, if you're the person in your market who's starting the chapter, why not use the chapter as the thing you're inviting businesses to? Because that gives some tangible value to the members. But why not? Like I could build my own Chris Angel list in Spokane and actually have an entirely separate income stream. Like you've talked at Connect actually about value ladders. My personal brand could build this list based on people that I've vetted by my own chapter.
That's exactly right.
Oh my gosh.
That's exactly right.
You listen to this.
In fact, that's the whole power of being part of Master Networks, because it's not your own chapter on an island. You are now connected across the country. And if you use Direct Track, our app, correctly, this is what I did. I just went in Direct Track, looked up the person, called them first to make sure, you know, they're living, breathing. And I kind of vetted them short. I understand. But then I connected them with my family member that needed that. And of course I get a text back that's like, again, it was like, dude, you know everybody. Right? That's what it says. Dude, you know everybody. By the way, thank you. They're able to help me, and this is super helpful. Like, that's killer. What value, right? What value I'm able to add to somebody because I'm a connector.
Whoa. Sorry, can I just do like a side trail for a second? Like, if you're, I don't know where you are in the country, but if you're in a chapter or you want to start a chapter, all of a sudden you could have people from different chapters around the country, or start locally, but you can go around the country and start interviewing them for your own show.
Yes.
Right? Like you and I are doing a show right now. I'm interviewing you. It's your show. You listening to this could have a show, and your whole angle on content is to go interview people for your list that you would actually end up, whether you're selling it to people or you're just simply being of value to people. Like,
so good.
That's it.
So good. So powerful. In fact, let me just tell another quick story for everyone listening to this. I was in a meeting in Colorado. It was not Master Networks. This was a networking group that was considering moving their whole group to Master Networks. I happened to be in town. They invited us to come check it out. Okay, so we're in the meeting. A lady stands up and she says, literally the words out of her mouth, I know no one in here is going to be able to help me with this, but I just have to ask. I just married this guy. He has a house in Florida, and we need a good realtor because the last realtor didn't sell the house, the deal fell through, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, where in Florida is it? Now remember, I'm a visitor, I'm a guest. I'm just there. I'm like, where in Florida is it? And she says, it's in Naples, Florida. And I said, I have the guy for you. He's the best. She's like, seriously? I said, yeah, because I had just been in Naples, Florida the week before. He's a Master Networks member. He kills it in real estate. He got the deal done, sold it for cash in a week.
Wow. That's
like,
awesome.
How valuable was I for all of them?
Right.
Because I can connect people.
Yeah. I love it. So good. So the fourth one is being value to others as a connector. I love it. So let's bring it home with the fifth reason you should start a Master Networks chapter.
The fifth reason is because training and personal development, right? And so I always say that, like, it doesn't matter what level of success you get to, you're always going to get to the level of your own personal development. You're always going to default back to that. So, you know, one of my biggest mistakes was I got really successful in sales and thought that meant something, but then I just dropped to the level of my personal development. That really, you know, hurt my business. And so I'm always looking to raise my business education, my personal development, and Master Networks is built such that we provide the venue for that in our meetings and in our university online. We just released this new online university that's super cool. So mobile friendly. We've got authors, speakers, trainers. We're even shooting some new videos with some other trainers that are going to provide more courses for people for business training. So that's a powerful piece.
So excited about that. Yeah, I think, you know, there's a lot, when you think about the different options you have for networking groups that you could be a part of or that you could start, I think this is one of the biggest value propositions that Master Networks has is the quality of training and education, personal development, where the conversation lives here. The conversation doesn't live, okay, pass your referral cards in. The conversation is living at who are you going to be? Who are you going to rise to as a human being so that your success doesn't cap out at your personal development because you continue to expand.
Yeah, listen, I know it sounds, and to your point, this is going to be that self-promotion, but I'm going to tell you what, we're the best at what we do in this.
Yeah.
And I know our content is just second to none. And what we teach, I know guys, listen, and this is no knock on them. They make a great business selling training and development that I have paid for and I've taken. And again, I just look at it and I've had people go, man, this stuff is good. It's the best that I've seen out there. And we are training people because think about it, Chris, if I send you a referral, I sent this person in Chicago referral, I want to make sure they have business training. And I'm somewhat assured of that through their being a member of Master Network. So if I'm putting my name behind something, I want to know that this person has training and personal development. That's what we do at Master Networks.
We, in our chapter, I came today from my chapter meeting and it was talking about being purposeful. And we did, it was the soundbite it was like a 2-minute soundbite. And we got done and they're like, hey, can you play that again? They're like, man, there was so much in that 2 minutes. Can you play it again? We played it a second time. Then we proceeded to have a 15-minute conversation around what that brought up for people. And that was a 2-minute clip in a weekly meeting.
Yeah. Think about it this way. And then for those who are watching this, not just listening to it, I'm holding a book. It's called a training tidbit book. So we play these every week, as Chris was referring to. We have a full 2 years of those printed out.
Yeah.
Literally, you could, like, if you're running a business or a team, number one, you could read it every week. But number two, you could use this as a topic to train your employees, just go through and read it, play it, talk about it, discuss it. That's the kind of tools and resources we give you at Master Networks.
Yeah. So good. So strong. I love it. So those gang are the top 5 reasons you should start a Master Networks chapter. Insulates you. There's relationships that are beneficial to the growth of your business, the revenue through those relationships, being of value to others as a connector, and the training and personal development. And there are more, but we'll just—
those are just 5 we could cover today.
That's right. We'll cover 5 other ones at a different episode.
Yeah.
Awesome, Chaz. Thanks for your time today. If people want to learn more about starting their own Master Networks chapter, where can they go?
Yeah, go to masternetworks.com and listen, you should know that we have fully invested in a team that will help you launch a chapter and coach you all the way through successfully. We have chapters that will be coached 2-3 years down the road.
Yeah.
We no extra charge for somebody who's starting a chapter. People always ask me that question. Is there extra to start a chapter? No. You just become a member and we provide all of these tools and resources for you because we're invested in your success.
That's so good. I love it. Talk about making it easy. All right. Great episode, Chaz. We'll catch you in the next one, eh?
All right. Sounds good, Chris.
Bye.